Hey guys, it's Charles again from tweaktown.com. I'm here today at CES 2014 in the Thermaltake suite, and Shannon Rob's going to show us some of the stuff they're displaying here.
Thank you, Charles. First off, we wanted to kind of cover some of the new chassis we're showing here, and honestly, we kind of had to start over, so to speak. We went back to the drawing board when it came to creating our new enthusiast level chassis. We wanted to create something straight out of the box that just was amazing, no modding necessary, and fit everything enthusiasts have been asking for. And so we started with two chassis, our Urban T81 you see here, and the Core V71 that you'll see over there just in a few moments. So first of all, you'll see this one's already been modded to the hill when it comes to adding liquid cooling and whatnot. So you'll see it has a double door setup. Normally you'll have your drives here, which I'll show you in the other air-cooled one. This is actually a reference design. But we wanted to show you kind of some of the liquid cooling that fits here. Now we do have a compatibility chart, so you can actually see that this thing, it fits massive amounts of cooling. This thing will fit a 360 or 420 radiator on top and 360 or 420 in the front at the same time. It'll fit a 120 or 140 in the back. And in the bottom, pending you have nothing down there, like you take the drive trays out like we did before, like we did already, you can fit all the way up to a 240 or 280 rad. So you're talking a ton of liquid cooling. This is way overkill for pretty much any build, but it gives people, also the option. So maybe they don't want to mount it at the top, maybe they mount it at the bottom, maybe they mount it at the back, whatever it may be. Now you have that option instead of just having one area and that's what you have to work with. We wanted to give that option, and also there's a small tray that goes right here that allows you to vertically mount one hard drive or SSD so that you don't lose your storage spaces if you mount all this crazy stuff in here, because what's the point if you can't run the system? So let's make sure we had a solution for that without a doubt. Now you'll notice this is a little crazy. It's probably a little more than what some people would run, but it gives you an idea that notice there's still a massive amount of open space for more graphics cards, for more liquid cooling components, fans, whatnot. So, and we also, notice we have some of the Pure, some of our new not Pure, but the actual, some of our new model fans over here that we'll look at a little bit later. But we just kind of want to showcase those as well. Now, one thing to note is that we're going to move over here to the air-cooled version of the chassis. Now, this is how it comes out of the box. Liquid-cooled, you're going to be taking all the stuff out to give it room. But now, air-cooled, when you first open this thing out of retail box, it's going to come with two 200 mils in the front, a 200 mil in the top, and a 140 in the back. So just straight up, you build a system in this, it's going to move massive amounts of airflow, and it's going to cool really well regardless of what you build in it. It's going to be really hard to overheat anything in this case. And you'll notice these drive cages here, which are all modules. So you have 3 drives, 2 drives, so you can pull any one of those out or all of them, along with the 5 1/4, which are also individual, that can be unscrewed and removed, so that you have all this room just like you saw before with the liquid cooling capability. And what's cool about this is even when we install the radiators, we still left the 200 mil fans in there because they're mounted on top. But if you want to do a push-pull configuration, you can use the same size fans for more static pressure and whatnot, or you could just leave the 200 mil and it will just help pull the extra warm air out of the chassis. And so basically, and also one really cool thing that also I want to mention was the fact that the price point on this Urban chassis, the T81, it's $189. So you're talking about something that normally takes a super tower level chassis to fit that kind of liquid cooling, now is not in a huge chassis that's like your desk. This fits under your desk. And not to mention, it's at a price point that's super competitive. Now let's take a look. Give me a second, we'll go take a look at the Core V71 and see what they offer with that one, because it's like the brother to this one. Okay, and now we're looking at the Core V71. Now a little explanation is the Core series chassis. The Core itself is kind of a defining thing that we're going back to the core value of what we want to do, which is delivering the perfect user experience. And that's what we're trying to do for our enthusiasts at this point, which is we know we've really tried, but now we just went back to the drawing board and created, once again, another chassis that just fits everything we've been asked for, especially when it comes to liquid cooling standpoint for all of our consumers. And as you can see here, it fits very close to what the Urban T81 we already looked at fits, and that the only difference would be the back fan fits up to a 120 instead of 140, and the bottom fits a 120 or 240 rather than a possibility of up to 140 or 280. Otherwise, the front and top can fit up to 420 each, which means still a massive amount of liquid cooling capability, as you can see built in here. And the drive bays are all removable so that you can do similar, but there are a few things that are different here, like for instance the open mesh design. It creates a really neat aesthetic for the chassis, gives it a different look than the sleek Urban design, so that users have an option to build it how they want it, and they can remove or add what they need to make it their own system. Now, as you can see in the air-cooled one, this is how it comes out of the box. Just like with the T81, you have all your drives here, and they are separate modules, so you can remove one or all of them. You can also take this brace and you flip it around so that it's behind the door, so that when you're like the liquid-cooled one, you don't have it in the way. So it looks really awesome. And one really cool thing is you look at it and you think, okay, the brace is moved. How am I going to mount my drive? Because unlike the T81, the brace is no longer there because you flipped it. So if we walk around the back of the chassis here, all those drive bays you had pulled are now usable because, well, 2 of them at least, because we have 2 mounts in the back. And this is actually fixing a problem. This is a solution we came up with because one problem we saw was when you have the mounting for the drives on the back of the motherboard tray, usually your 2.5-inch drives, which means you're limited in capacity, you're limited in what you can have, like for instance SSDs, which cost per gigabyte is going to be huge versus a standard platter hard drive. Now you can mount 2 different drives or 2 different trays right here. You just take it, drop it in, you just take, snap it into place. You can put another one down here. You could run a main SSD drive with a large storage drive, or what have you. However, whatever configuration you want, you build it your way. We give you the parts, you guys make it happen. So basically, we are giving the enthusiasts what they asked for, and now it's their turn to put up and build the system in it, because they've asked us for so many different configurations and options and radiator type mountings. We've added a bunch in here, so now it's just a matter of the community, the modders, take this, build it, show us what you can do. Okay, and next up we wanted to take a look at one of our smaller Urban Series chassis. This is built off of what was like our original land box, like you remember land box Lite, Armor A30, things like that. Sometimes people don't want a big full tower chassis. Sometimes they need something smaller, whether it's for portability or even maybe they can't fit a big full tower. So we took the Urban styling, added it to a land box style chassis. You can see it's got like the S-Series door, front panel USB 3, your audio jacks, all that good stuff. And also, we're going to take a peek inside here. You'll notice there's a lot of open airflow mesh all through this. And then as you open it up, you'll see we made some serious refinements to our land box style chassis. Here you can see we actually mount our water cooler, our Water 3.0 series right here. So it actually blows up. And now all those hot processors, you can actually feasibly run a Micro ATX high TDP system and have it in here. I mean, you can run an X79, which pumps out some serious heat when you start overclocking them. You can have a water cooler here, keeping it nice and cool. You can run an SSD drive up top, and you can actually unscrew this, pop this whole unit out to do like maintenance or take it apart. And below it, there's actually a hard drive tray that holds a couple hard drives down there, so you don't just be stuck with like just an SSD. And by adding that hard drive tray down there, it allows expansion for large graphics cards. I mean, pretty much the largest we see on the market now can fit here no problem, unless you're talking the taller PCB, which then, you know, it's tougher because, you know, you have some of the custom ones that are really tall above the standard PCIe bracket, and those are a little harder to deal with, but most of those will even fit as well. There might be some exceptions there, but this part where the PSU is held also comes off, so installation is really simple and maintenance is really simple on this board. And also the whole motherboard tray side also comes out. So the whole thing can be pulled all apart to make it total installation super easy. And that's just kind of one of our innovations when it comes to the land box style. And when moving down, because originally you saw the Urban S series, well, we have 2 new series by Urban, T and R. And you saw the T81. Well, the T also comes in smaller sizes like the T31. And the T series is simply like the S series, has a front door, really sleek, but instead now the door is melded into the front of the case, so it carries a lot more form directly through the front of the chassis. And it's a lot different of a door design, and it meets up with the front of the chassis. Now also there's an R series, like I mentioned before. The R series has the same appearance, but it omits the door because some people don't like doors. So if you want the urban look, you can see you have the exposed drive bay covers right here with the same rounded and sleek appearance, just minus the door, so you don't have to deal with it if it's something you don't care about. We wanted to make sure you had this option because it just kind of gives people maybe the look they're looking for without the unnecessary feature they don't want. Okay. All right, and looking at our power supplies here at Thermaltake, you can see that we have actually our Tough Power series, which has always been known for one of our like flagship brands. Well, Tough Power has always been a higher wattage design. Now the Tough Power 750, we're actually going lower. We actually have 650 and even 550 available. And what it is it allows the ultimate durability, stability, and awesome component quality, along with some modular design at the lower wattage. So therefore, you know, because not most people run a single graphics card, so 750, 650 is more than enough for what they need. So we're kind of trying to get more practical supplies. Now, if you want to go something a little more crazy, we get our Tough Power DPS. As you can see, we're talking fully modular. Everything's removable, and they're digital, so you have your little USB connector here. If I don't drop my power supply, you can see, and a USB connector there. And that guy will connect directly to your motherboard. And that gives you access to your monitoring software, which we're going to go take a look at now. And we also do, just a note, we do have a wireless version coming, and that will have a wireless dongle that connects to the motherboard and allows the transmission of the data I'm going to show you without the wire hooking to the motherboard. Now, as you can see here, the software, this is the thing that took a long time. Obviously, a lot of people assumed like we were pretty late to the digital power supply game, but we've had the hardware for a while. What we were really doing was perfecting the software, because we didn't want something clunky or Windows 95-ish. We wanted something that looks like it belongs on your tablet or your smartphone. We wanted something sleek, smooth, easy to work with. So you can monitor your wattage, you can monitor your voltage, your efficiency, your temperature, your fan speed. You can even adjust the fan speed via the software for the PSU. Also, what's really cool, you can monitor your cost. You set your cost per kilowatt hour, and it will actually calculate your cost to run this, or right now, how much the hotel's paying to run this system. So I'm going to just leave it on here for a while. And then we have also one really cool thing is it keeps databases. At 6-hour intervals, it'll actually dump a database so that you have nothing but just a huge, massive databases within your OS. And you can go back, and this is really important for anyone who does like mining rigs, things like that. They can actually monitor how their system's operating, if they're pulling more power maybe at certain times, to try to figure out if there's any issues causing a problem maybe with their system. They can monitor every aspect of the power delivery for their system, including the cost, in order to make sure that they're getting the most efficiency out of their system when they're running it. And then one more last thing we're going to look at before we let you go to our other brands here. I wanted to show you guys something that's really, this is kind of a sneak peek thing, giving you the first look into something that's really in the works from us. I mean, this is not anything that's official or even ready close to retail yet. This is like a really alpha deal, but you'll see this liquid cooling system. This is like an expansion, kind of like what we had with the Big Water, if you remember way back when we were really innovating in the market and pushing the market toward liquid cooling. And then we're talking many years ago. Now we're kind of pushing towards some individual components. And we'll go take a look real quick at those other individual components and show you kind of what we're working on. Okay guys, and now taking a look at the components that we were looking at in that system, you can see we have the cylinder reservoir here, which is actually dirty and G and a quarter. It is you can see it's G and a quarter threaded, so therefore it'll fit anything pretty much industry standard. And we also have our own version of compression fittings on it, or you can opt for your own, whichever you prefer. Or you have the pump and res combo, which has a nice little stand here blocking the pump, so that when you have it in your chassis, like you saw over there, it works really well. It looks good. And not only that, it actually has through the top, if you fill it through, it has this feed down tube, so that you don't mix or drip it down and have a bunch of air bubbles recirculating into your system. Just makes things a little nicer. And then this is actually a pretty cool one because it's a heater core style radiator. And this is actually a very nice unit because of the fact that it's a multi-pass heater core, and the Delta is not very far off like a tube and fin style radiator. So it's a very good value for those looking, because once again, these are value-based components. These are something for people who want to get in at a decent value into liquid cooling. And this is also, because of the open design, you'll notice that you can use very low-speed PWM fans and like really silent water cooling system that also cools really well. So overall, we're just trying to improve the user experience and make sure that we give people options that not only are really nice, but really affordable. And it just offers, basically, once again, the best user experience for our enthusiasts and our up-and-coming enthusiasts. And this was Shannon at Thermaltake. Thank you for coming to see us here.